What is good, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Paul and I do videos about Japan, society, life, and culture. I drop a new one every single Friday, and today I'm going to talk about some of the little things that I love about Japan. They're just small things that kind of put daily life in a better place. Basically, these are things that if you come here as a tourist, you probably won't experience, or even if you've lived here, you just take them for granted and you don't really think about them. But for me, they've become something representative of why Japan is a special place. Okay, short intro, so let's get started. Before I get into the little things that I love about Japan, I would really love it, more than a little, if you would please hit the subscribe button for my future content and go back and watch old videos that I've made that you haven't seen before. And of course, hit the like button on this one so that the content gets out to a wider YouTube audience. So what is that first thing, that first little thing that I really love about Japan? It's the fact that I know in the back of my head at all times there is, in a couple of small bars somewhere in Japan, a bottle with my name on it. You see, in Japan there's something called keep bottle, which is you go to a bar that has that service, and a lot of them do, and you buy a bottle up front. You pay, whatever the price of the bottle is, and they put your name on it or they put a tag on it, and it goes on a shelf with all the other keep bottles that whenever you come in, you can just ask for your bottle and they'll give it to you. And just the fact that I know that there are places where they know my name and they've got my bottle there waiting for me takes me to kind of a happy place. The second thing that I really like about Japan that makes the daily existence just seem really nice is seeing the kindergarten buses go by. They decorate the kindergarten buses here. They are so cute, and the little kids in there with their straw hats or their Madeline hats or whatever their uniform is, it's just adorable. I love seeing those go by. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. After I retire from university teaching, I am going to drive a kindergarten bus. That is my dream retirement job, and I'm not even joking about that. I really want to do it. Okay, another thing in daily life that I encounter that I really like is the smell of incense. You see, you can walk past a temple here or even an open window of a house and smell incense wafting out. And that smell, they talk about how smell and memory are intertwined. And it just takes me back to all of the famous, beautiful places I've seen in Kyoto and Nara and other parts of Japan. But it also takes me back to my days doing taekwondo in my hometown when I was in high school, because we used to meditate while incense was burning. And so, yeah, those memories are particularly special for me, and those smells, the smell of incense brings me back to that. Another smell that I love about Japan is when you go by restaurants here, and I don't know why restaurants in America don't do this. It might be, they just aren't allowed to do it through zoning laws, or the restaurants are spread out more, so it doesn't make sense. But when you walk past so many restaurants in Japan, you smell what they're cooking, like it's being pumped onto the street with special fans. You smell the garlic of the Italian place. You smell the dashi, or the soup stock of the ramen place. And it just makes you want to go in and eat it. It's really good advertising technique. Aside from smell, sounds of Japan that really make my day special, one is the chimes that will happen at 4 or 5 p.m. depending on the season, and in the morning at 7 or 8 a.m. Basically, it's just a song that they play over the town loudspeakers. I have to admit, I didn't really like it when I first got to Japan. I thought it was kind of intrusive, but it grew on me, and now I really like it. It's just another symbol of being in a community in Japan. And unfortunately, where I live now, they don't do it. Cities like Yokohama and Tokyo don't tend to do those sounds, but when I lived in the Zushi Hayama area, they had it. And of course, when I lived in the countryside out in Yamanashi at the foot of Mount Fuji, the town there had the chime every day. Quite often it was the Fuji song. If you don't know it, you can Google it, but it goes something like this. Dun 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know the words. I'm a bad resident of the town, but that's how the tune goes, and they would play that every day, 4 or 5 o'clock, and they would change it from time to time and become another folk song at a different time of the year. Another sound that I really like, and this one's going to be a little bit weird, and you've probably encountered this if you've come to Japan as a tourist, but for some reason I really like it, and that is the beep of the turnstile when you go into a train station using your IC card, Passmo or Suica or whatever brand it is that you use. Now, I'm not sure I can exactly explain why I like that sound, but part of it is it just has become like a microcosm symbol for me functioning properly in Japanese society. And like, obviously you can deal with an IC card if you're here as a tourist, so it's not like it's high order functioning in society. And I highly recommend you get an IC card if you come here. It's way more convenient than buying tickets all the time. But I don't know, in my head, every time I go peep as I go through the turnstile into the train station, I think I'm a functioning member of society. It seems silly to say it out loud, but it works in my head for some reason. And speaking of being a functioning member of society, the final 2 things I'm going to mention are certainly ones I think a lot of foreigners in Japan can relate to. They relate to feeling like you belong, like you have a good extent of knowledge, and that you can share that knowledge with others. And the first is, I get a kick out of teaching Japan and Japanese things to Japanese people. What ends up happening is a lot of times as a foreigner you notice things in society and culture, or you take particular interests that most Japanese don't really think about or care about or didn't even notice, and you end up explaining them. You learn about them, you do research on them, and then when this topic comes up, suddenly you find yourself teaching Japanese people about Japanese things as a foreigner. Which is a little bit odd to say the least, but it happens a lot more than you might expect. Sorry if this is kind of a weird cut to this last one. I had to let a garbage truck go by and I don't remember where I was. The second one that really makes you feel like you're a strong member of, you're in the know in society, is when you can teach people the secret places, the places that only true locals know and kind of treasure. And I'll give you a specific example. There is a bar in the city of Fujiyoshida that you will only know if you've been taken there by someone. It's almost impossible to find if you have not been taken there by someone else. The closest thing to a hint would be is that it's near a Lawson's convenience store. But the problem is you're looking for a place called Totan, which is literally tin shack in Japanese, and that is literally what it is. It is a tin shack. 4 walls of sheet metal with a sheet metal roof and a sheet metal door, and there's no sign, there's no posters, there's no advertising. The only way you're ever going to find it is through word of mouth. The only way to know if it's open is if you see the little blue light above the door is on, and it's really subtle. You actually have to like drive slowly past and check. There's no parking lot. And inside, behind that sheet metal door, is one of the best bartenders you will ever have in your life. He is a master mixologist and will just put together some of the most amazing cocktails you'll ever have. And it's been really gratifying that on occasion I've been able to teach local people who didn't know about it. I've taken people there, and then I hear them later talking about how they've gone back, and then we go back together, and that's just a lot of fun to have that level of local knowledge, because it does help you feel or kind of gain this state of feeling of belonging in the society, because I'm never going to really look like I fit in entirely. So when I get those joys of helping local people or teaching local people something, it's a lot of fun. Okay, those were the things that I set aside in my brain for this week's video to talk about. There's a lot of other things I could talk about why I love Japan, or little things about the society that I really dig, or that I also really dislike. I might do a negative video at some point. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed this. If you live here and you can relate to these, let us know in the comments. If you don't live here and you found any of them interesting, you know, ask some more questions. I'm pretty good about answering almost everything that people post, so I would appreciate if you join in the conversation below. In the meantime, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and I hope you hit the like button. That's the most important in my opinion, just because I want more people to see. And, you know, it'd be great if you subscribe and come back, but hitting the like button goes a long way to help. So, thank you so very much for watching this particular video. Hope to see you again next Friday, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.